Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, if there is a better example out there of how to spend a lot of money, time, and effort to produce such appallingly bad results, then I have yet to see it. We're talking, of course, about the push to end child poverty. This big scheme that Alibaba came up with himself, that he said will be a flagship push, and we're going to, save these people lots of money. We're going to lift all these children out of poverty. And, it's going to cost God knows how much, millions upon millions upon millions. But the result will be so appallingly, embarrassingly bad that you'd have been better off actually not doing it at all, and them saving the money saved in trying to implement it all just to, I don't know, pay a little bit more to people. It would have been cheaper. It is that bad. We're going to take a look at it, but when you see the numbers involved, I'm not going to say them here because I want you to see the numbers because it'll just astound you. So we'll go straight into it. We'll have a look, and then it's just, you can't get over how bad this is. And it cost millions. Anyway, here goes. This is another one of those where you couldn't make it up. Alibaba's slashing child poverty claim in tatters as the flagship council tax freeze saves only 53 pence. 53 pence. Unbelievable, isn't it? The First Minister claimed during his initial programme for government that in his main aim was to slash child poverty. Well, why not? I think it's quite laudable to try and do that, especially as it's your party that's increased it so much. Seems only fair. Anyway, but his council tax freeze helps the wealthiest instead, who may be forced to pay it back through income tax rises. Yes, well, there we go. Hamza Yousaf boasts that his main aim is to tackle child poverty as First Minister, and it is in tatters, as new analysis revealed that his flagship council tax freeze would only save poorer Scots 53 pence a week. You know, a little over 7p a day, basically. 7.5 pence a day. Don't go out and spend it all at once, guys. You know, trying to save it. You might be able to buy yourself what? What will 53p get you? A tin of beans? Literally? About that? They won't even be good beans, will they? They ain't getting Heinz. I think they're about £1.20p or something. 53p. Get your tin of Asda beans. You know? The SNP leader used his party's conference to announce the move, which came just months after he was consulting on hiking up the tax. But he is struggling to find a way to fund the policy, considering the Scottish Government has a potential 1.5 billion budget black hole, probably much higher. And if he cannot fully fund it, local authorities could look to not implement it. Basically, they're under no obligation to freeze their council tax. He's announced it, and that's fine, as long as he's paying it. But, if he's not willing to pay it or he's unable to pay it, they're just going to put it up. And, of course, if they do, it makes him look like an idiot and, without any authority. Spoilers. Anyway, the First Minister's freeze is more likely to help out those on higher incomes, obviously, because they've got the bigger houses. They're the ones who are seeing a no rise, meaning, oh, look, we've saved like £300 a month, £300 a year or whatever it would go up by for those bigger houses. And he looks set to introduce a new tax band that would raid their pockets again, but they, of course, being of the higher earning potential, will be in much better position to avoid paying it. It's easily done. It's relatively easily done. So while they pay less council tax, middle-class families will be dishing out more money in the government anyway. In theory, in practice, they probably won't. However, it is of little impact, shall I say, on those in poverty, the ones at the bottom of the scale, which he professes to want to help, and yet does so little for. This has been slated by charities, especially after his vows during the programme for government that his main target was to get more children out of poverty, but his freeze will not even pay for a pint of milk. And there we go. Ruth Boyle of the Poverty Alliance told the Daily Record, the First Minister has stated that the central mission of his leadership is to tackle poverty. This council tax freeze will do nothing to progress that mission. No, and the thing is, he's done it because he panicked. He literally panicked. He had nothing to do, so he just panicked and said that. The councils didn't want it. His own people didn't want it. The Greens didn't want it. The policy wonks didn't want it. The civil service knew nothing about it. Then they claimed retrospectively, oh, we had a meeting about it. Well, it wasn't minuted in the meeting. And so there was no one mentioned it that the civil servant who was minuting the meeting decided to write it down. It's all rubbish, isn't it? It's him panicking. And now everybody's got to pay. It's not helping anybody. It's literally pointless. Well, that's not entirely true. It's helping rich people. It's not helping the poor at all. And yet he felt, look at me, I'm being so wonderful and virtuous in announcing this. What an idiot. Anyway, she said, as the cost of living crisis continues to bite, it can't be right that the Scottish Government are prioritising a policy that disproportionately benefits wealthier households. If enacted, the freeze would be a failure of responsible government and a double whammy for people living in poverty, providing no benefit to them in terms of their ability to make ends meet. And in fact, if you're someone who's sitting there and you're getting on benefits now and you're having your council tax paid for anyway, you're no better off at all. Literally, you're probably worse off because food prices are still going up. You're not getting a rise in your actual benefits. So this is what happens. I keep saying it, but it's true. This is what happens when morons are allowed to make decisions. Please stop voting for morons. It's quite easy. If you are an SNP supporter, just don't vote. You're a moron. They're morons. It's morons putting morons in positions of power. And then you're sitting there going, why is my life so shit? Must be Westminster's fault. No, you're the one putting the X in the idiot box. Anyway, Mr Youssef was forced to scrap his planned council tax system reforms after a huge political backlash, which also provoked him to announce the freeze as his flagship conference announcement. And it was immediately rejected and everyone went, oh my God, he's a moron. His government will publish its first budget on Tuesday and is expected to include huge spending cuts. No surprise there. Experts at the Fraser of Allender Institute estimate the SNP ministers face a £1.5 billion black hole, with some of this due to the money needed to fund the freeze. The boffins also provided a breakdown of those who stands to benefit the most from this policy. Basically, rich people. Wasn't it ever thus, though? The freeze would save the wealthiest Scots £78 a year, while the figure for those on the lowest incomes is £28 over 12 months. These figures are based on the government providing funding for cancelling a council tax rise of 5%. But 5%. But some of these councils were putting it up at the rate of inflation, nearer 10%. And he hasn't budgeted for that. And that's why all this cost could go up as high as £1 billion, because he has got a tiny little one and doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, but we'll just throw money at it. You haven't got that money. John Dickey of the Child Poverty Action Group in Scotland said, this is yet more clear evidence that the proposed council tax freeze does little or nothing to support the families struggling the most with the cost of living. And it is now more vital than ever that the First Minister supports low-income families in this budget, and increasing the Scottish child payment to the £30 he committed to in his leadership campaign is the absolute minimum needed to demonstrate he is serious about shifting the dial on child poverty. Creating a booming economy really helps. Creating jobs, getting people into work, massively helps. But he won't do that. He can't do that. He doesn't want a booming economy, because that would mean people would stop voting for the SNP. That's why everything is always miserable and poor. They're awful people. But then you've got to look at the people who vote them in. Anyway, I shall stop there and we shall come up, we shall round off and finish the video. There we go. I don't think I've got anything really to add to that, except, it's nothing surprising, really, is it? Nothing surprising. Anyway, we've got there. It's a Friday. It's my last video of the day, assuming nothing breaks or, there might be a flash video or something like that. So go, everyone. Enjoy your Friday evenings, whatever you may be doing. We are so close to getting 9,000 subbies now. Do please consider, if you're not yet subbed, to hit the button and absolutely help us to get out there and get the truth and keep punishing the wicked SNP for all their stupidity, evil, corrupt ways, I suppose. There's lots of things wrong with them. I have a list this long of us to go through them. So, yeah, help me get to the 9,000. That'd be absolutely super. So if you are a regular viewer and you haven't done it, ping, hit the button, ring the bell, and then everyone wins. Except the SNP. More people find out about them. Anyway, enjoy your Friday evening. Till tomorrow, stay safe, stay well, and I will talk to you in the morning if I don't talk later. Bye.